Parents, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? This is KTPX-TV Channel 9. From the Permian Basin's News Channel, this is Channel 9 News at 10 o'clock with Richard Relier and David Hepperly, meteorologist Mark Lee, and Jay Hendricks with sports.
Surprisingly tough criticism is sweeping the office that this man heads tonight.
He's L.A. Police Chief Daryl Gates, and tonight his police department is facing severe scrutiny by a special commission.
The Christopher Commission released a 260-page report today on the LAPD. Now, that blue ribbon panel investigating the department has offered some very, very tough criticism. Tonight, Linda Alvarez tells us what their investigation turned up.
The long-awaited Christopher Commission report was hand-delivered to Mayor Tom Bradley this morning. Before reading a word of it, the mayor promised to accept all recommendations. It's been 4 months since an amateur cameraman videotaped the police beating of Rodney King. The video shocked the nation and sparked charges of racism in the LA Police Department and demands for the resignation of Police Chief Daryl Gates. It led to the formation of the Independent Commission on the Los Angeles Police Department. For 100 days, the commission, led by Warren Christopher, former U.S. Deputy Attorney General, investigated the LA police at work. It found there is a significant group of police officers who misuse force, and that the problem of excessive force is indeed aggravated by racism and bias within the department. And finally, it recommended that the Police Commission and Chief Gates step aside in order to give the city a fresh start. Linda Alvarez for NBC News, Los Angeles.
Chief Gates told reporters today he wants to stress the importance of the tremendous job the LAPD does as a whole. He describes the department as dedicated to providing the very best possible service to the people of Los Angeles.
An Odessa man accused of gunning down another man in the middle of a city street is on trial in Odessa. 23-year-old Eusebio Pando Hernandez is charged with the murder of 20-year-old Jesus Jesse Ramirez in August of last year. 16 witnesses are scheduled to take the stand in the trial. One of them is a victim's girlfriend, who was riding in a pickup truck with him when he was allegedly shot with a deer rifle. It happened at the intersection of Lee and Shell Street. Now, convicted, Hernandez faces a 5 to 99-year sentence. Testimony will continue tomorrow.
A Midland man twice previously arrested on drug charges is behind bars again tonight. Just before 12:30 today, the Midland County Sheriff's SWAT team ran a search warrant at 400 East Pine and arrested 31-year-old R.N. Pete Holloway. Now, during a search of the residence, 53 rocks of crack cocaine were seized, valued at about $1,000. $350 in currency was also taken. Holloway was previously arrested in December of '90 and in April of this year for cocaine possession. 2 Odessa attorneys are free on bail tonight after being arrested for possession of cocaine last night. Robert Leahy was presented a search warrant by investigators from the Permian Basin Drug Task Force and the Ector County DA's office early last night at his Odessa home. After a search that lasted more than an hour, investigators came up with 1/16 of an ounce of cocaine and arrested Leahy and his wife Eva Marie on possession charges. If convicted, they face 2 to 20 years in prison and the possibility of being disbarred.
The long battle over whether or not cruising should be allowed at the Midland City Park appears to have been solved tonight. Today at the Midland City Council meeting, councilmen gave $2,500 for road and parking improvement at Hogan Park. Wider park entrance and a new roadway will cut out traffic problems on Wadley caused by the cruising. The city and residents first started to battle over the issue when the city wanted to cut out cruising for safety reasons. The residents and the city compromised on the issue and settled it today. Well, sometimes a name can get you in and sometimes it can get you out too.
That's right. That's exactly what happened to Kyle Swayze down in San Antonio. You see, the Texas Crime Commission had hired Swayze to play a tough cop in a show called Teen Court. They said he was the brother of actor Patrick Swayze.
Are you okay, Peter?
Now they find out he's not who he really said he was. The commission will now hire a new lead for the crime show because of the identity crisis. Swayze, by the way, says he didn't do it for the con and he didn't do it for the money. He simply did it to help people.
That's why I use Hefferly. How many Hefferleys are there, right?
How do I answer that, right?
When our news continues, we'll take you around West Texas to find out what's affecting the people who live out here. Plus, you'll meet a legendary Texas Ranger right here in West Texas.
But first, a stable day for West Texas oil prices. Not very much movement. Unfortunately, most of the movement for the major oil companies was down. Very few posted gains in their stocks today.
West Texas weather didn't see much movement either direction. Another hot day, and it's going to stay that way.
In sports, there could be a rematch on the horizon between champion Evander Holyfield and George Foreman. I'll have details of that. The news continues in a few minutes.
Well, tonight we begin a special new series of reports, the Channel 9 News West Texas Report.
Every Tuesday night at 10, we'll take you to different communities in West Texas for a look at what's happening in your hometown. Tonight, our West Texas Report begins in Big Spring, where a battle over drinking at city parks has been settled. Tonight, the City Council voted 6-1 to ban the sale or consumption of all alcoholic beverages at city parks. Some residents were asking to sell alcoholic beverages at the Comanche Trails Amphitheater. Rather than supporting that, the council decided to ban the sale of alcohol completely.
Meanwhile, in Monahans, Ward Memorial Hospital is celebrating a gift from the government. The hospital has just been upgraded from a rural facility to an urban hospital. Now, the upgrade basically means more federal money. In fact, it could mean up to $300,000 more a year. The change allows Ward Memorial to be on the same level as Medical Center in Odessa.
A longtime West Texas lawman will be hanging up his gun at the end of the month. Andrews Chief Deputy Morris Brown says he's calling it quits after 30 years on the force.
Those same people that you go out and work with to help or aid or assist, those people are called on at some time or another to serve on your grand jury, on the bureaus in the county court, and justice court, municipal court, district court, those same people, and they respect you because you're doing a job for them as much as you are when you unlock their car or cut their water off.
Brown says over the years he's dealt with a lot of good folks. He says he's enjoyed his work in Andrews. You know, if there's one thing a West Texan takes a lot of pride in, it's a lot